Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Miko Love from thebudgetmom.com, and Ryen is back here today. Physically, she's here in Spokane.
Yeah, just landed.
She literally just landed and drove here. So we thought it'd be a good time to record some YouTube videos. I know we haven't posted in a while. We had to figure out our schedule with Ryen now out of town, and I love to have her, and I know you guys love seeing her in the videos, so she's here. Yay. We're busting out some YouTube videos today. So today we're doing our October budget recap. Now you may have noticed we didn't do a September budget recap, but make sure you go to my Instagram at The Budget Mom, where I did share some updates with my September budget recap there. And that's where you can find most of my daily videos, finance related videos. Today, though, we're doing the October budget recap. I know you probably have some craziness happening because anytime you move, you have, basically, it's like starting from scratch.
It is, and it's so hard because I'm like, okay, I don't even know what day my bills come out.
Right.
So you'll see, it's a mess.
Yes, and that's okay. It's okay. This is real life, okay? And that's what we share on the Budget Mom. It's real here.
Yes.
So because this is, I mean, we actually do this stuff in our own lives.
Right.
We teach
what we preach.
Yes. Yes. And what we actually do in our real lives. We actually do this stuff, guys, okay? So we're going to be looking at Ryen. For me, my October wasn't too crazy. It wasn't out of hand. The only main thing for me was that I used some vacation savings because I was in Arizona.
Right.
Was in Arizona for a week. I just got back recently as
so
well.
Tan.
I got my tan on. And then I'm about to leave for Cabo.
You're going to get even more tan.
And then I get more tan on. But so that's really mainly the only thing that you were going to see. Mm-hmm. My health and beauty obviously has changed.
That's right.
I went to Cancun about 3 months ago, and my girlfriend owns a salon. She's like, girl, let me put some lashes on for you for your Cancun trip. I'm like, awesome.
You fell in love
and now I don't want to take them back off. And so that is back in my budget, which of course, if you're spending in more in one budget category, it means you have to spend less in another. Right? Trade-offs. Well, I hit a major goal this year.
Ooh.
Major. I hit $20,000 invested in my son's 529.
You hit that. I remember you talking about that.
So starting at the beginning of last year, I want to do about $10,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, well, Miko, what's your ultimate goal? My ultimate goal is to get up to about $50,000 and let compound interest do the rest until he's 18.
Nice.
Now, I also get the question as a mom, which is, by the way, side note, this is a personal decision with every parent, with every mom, every dad, every family. It's different. For me personally, I am not going to pay for all of James's education. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not going to be like, oh, hand it to him, right?
Right.
I had to work full time. Mm-hmm. I went to night school for 5 years to get my degree and worked full time during the day. What I ultimately want to save my child from is the overhanging debt.
Right.
The paralyzing debt and opportunities that student loans take away from, I personally, like for me, my student loans hung over my head for a very long time, which hindered my ability to work on other financial goals.
That's so true.
So my son will have to work, and he will have to work extremely hard for scholarships.
Yeah, that's
my goal. Yeah. I want him to do the running start, get his AA before he graduates high school. That means he's got his 2-year degree for free. Right. And then do the remaining on a scholarship. And I'm hoping his education can be free, and he's going to have to do that work.
Yeah, that's really nice too, because I feel like I don't know, like, you know, we both paid our way through school, and I feel like one thing for people that do pay their way through school is like, okay, do I want my degree or do I want to go into this debt? Right. And that's a hard decision to make. I know I struggled with it.
Yeah, like even for me, like, you know, if you know me personally, one of my ultimate goals in life was to go all the way to the top. Right. I wanted to get my doctorate, and everyone's like, why do you want to get your doctorate? For one sole purpose, I want to be Dr. Love.
I was expecting you to say, like, I just wanted to do it for myself. Or, like, I wanted to prove it to myself.
I want to be Dr. Love. And I always thought to myself, if I'm going to go to school, I'm going to go all the way. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, as I got older and what I've learned, sometimes the debt you take on to go to school is not worth the degree you are getting.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah, that's so true.
Many
That's
people
so true.
get out with a master's degree and realize, oh, I'm not going to make enough to pay off this master's degree that I
Right.
got. It's not worth the value of the
That's so
education,
true.
or it does not provide any big benefit
Yeah.
or opportunity or value after you graduate.
Right, and I even know like some places won't hire people with masters because they feel they have to pay them more, you know. So it could also
Right.
that's hard to juggle. That's
right,
so hard.
Right. And so I decided I'm going to stop with my bachelor's and not pursue my master's because I felt like I didn't want to pay for that.
Right.
Especially with my job, owning the budget mom and all this.
Right. What are you
Heck
gonna do with a
do
doctor?
I need a master's
Yeah.
or doctor?
Yeah.
Just accept to be Dr. Love. And you know, I can just call myself Dr.
I was
Love
gonna say, Miko.
without the degree, okay? Right? I can call myself that. So let's look at our October budget recaps. Okay, so we are looking at my budget workbook. I'm currently using the full-size peony theme for the Budget by Paycheck workbook. And we are looking at my Where Did My Money Go worksheet. So the 3 worksheets that we use to close out our budget is all stems from our expense tracker. So let's look at this very quickly. The monthly budget category breakdown, let's look at my inflow. So I had a starting balance of $1,206. This was what was in my checking account the first day of October. I have earned income of $5,600, no other income, and then I did have some saving use of $1,098 for a total monthly inflow of $7,904. So if it's in green, I was under budget. If it's in red, I was over budget. I was off by $3, but this is due to rounding. And when I say off, I mean income minus expenses should be 0.
Right.
But I'm $7,901 for expenses, $7,904 for inflow. That's only because I rounded.
For your cash expenses.
Yes,
Right.
I rounded my numbers.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I was over budget in James' household, but only by a couple of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Savings, I always want to be over. And then my health and beauty, obviously, I was over $250 from my normal $150. Now, I thought about upping my monthly budget. I usually spend under $150, but this has to be tweaked now because I'm getting my eyelash extensions back on. So a more realistic budget here is going to be about $250. And the reason I spent $400 is because I used $170 so of it for my Disport this month.
Oh, okay.
My Disport this month.
But that was a sinking fund.
It was
so
a
you already had
sinking
that,
fund, yeah. So if you look at my cash expense tracker, I had a $178 inflow for my Disport sinking fund, and then $920 for vacation spending, which you can see my fun and entertainment. I spent $1,039, which is actually, I did tweak this for my budget.
Oh, right.
I did tweak this for my budget. I spent less than I budgeted for that vacation. So $161 less than, and so I was under budget for that fun and entertainment. But that's all that's going on. Now this worksheet is just so you know, 1, where your money is going according to your categories, and if you're under or over what you estimated for your budget. The next worksheet I have is my monthly debt and savings breakdown. Now, I don't have debt, so I kind of tweak this worksheet for investments. I invested $800 of my inflow, which is 10%. 38% went to my non-retirement brokerage investment accounts, and then $500 it went to my 529.
Nice.
Now this used to be $840 or so, but I decreased it because I already hit my goal.
Okay.
I didn't want to stop investing all the way, but I did decrease it for some other spending for the rest of the year. My savings, now you might be wondering what's the difference between inflow and income. Inflow is your starting balance, earned income, any savings used. Your income is just the starting balance and any earned income. This does not include savings used. So 6806, I managed to save 2052, which was 30%.
Wow.
Now, if you look at between the two, my savings and my investments, I'm either saving or investing 40% of my income.
Awesome. Wow.
Now, of course, 84 went towards my sinking funds. I did save some for my $5 challenge, my 2021 savings challenge, and then I did put $214 or 10% towards landscaping. Now, just to mention, the $65 is the most I've saved in the $5 challenge for a long time.
Because you've been kind of cashless lately.
Yeah, so that's a great win for me. Now, I did have an increase in inflow from last month to this month, and that's only because like I said, I used some sinking fund savings. Now, we are comparing October spending to September spending, so this month versus last month. If it's in green, I spent less than. If it's in red, I spent more than last month. Now, of course, I spent more in fun and entertainment because I went on vacation.
Right.
I did spend more in health and beauty, because I treated myself to my nails, and I did get my eyelash extensions. And then pets was a little bit over because Toby had a grooming appointment. So those were where I was either over or less than, for nothing huge, nothing major or out of place. It's just great to say, okay, I know why I'm over that much.
Right.
I know why I'm under that much. Look at my gas in car. I'm under $99.
Oh my God.
Which shows, yes, gas prices have increased. Everything has increased. But I'm not driving as much because it's winter, it's cold, I don't want to leave my house. It's kind of what happens to me in the winter. I become a hermit.
Yeah, you're like a hibernate.
Yeah, so I'm not driving as much, and it's reflecting in my gas spending. So guess what this tells me? Starting in December, going into January, I can decrease my my gas budget at least.
And that's nice too, because now you know for next summer what you're spending this
Yes. Yeah, my summer gas budget's about $250 a month. My winter gas budget's about $150.
Nice.
So those are my where did my money go worksheets and what happened with my money in October.
Okay, so here is my October budget category breakdown. It's kind of crazy. So starting with my starting balance, I came into October with $139.34 in my checking account. My earned income was $4,145, which brought my total monthly inflow to $4,284. Now, I did use my emergency fund in October to cover some of my moving expenses, but I didn't include it in my budget. I don't know why, but I think it was just kind of easier in my head because I just transferred it straight from that emergency fund savings to my boyfriend's account. But that amount was $500. So at least I know that. So that's going to be my priority moving into November, is just building that back up to what it was. So here's all of my budget categories. If it's in green, that means I was under budget. If it's in red, that means I was over. These monthly budget numbers are going to be changing once I get a better idea as to what my new bills are. So I was under in food, which I was kind of amazed about, but I thought about it. And so what it was, because we ate out a lot in October just from moving and everything, my mom and my uncle bought like a cow. So we have a lot of beef, and she brought some and stocked up my freezer with it. So I didn't have to pay for really any meat in the month of October. So that really saved my food budget. Personal, I was under. Gas, I spent nothing. I don't have my car in Kansas. It's actually still here in Washington. So my boyfriend has been my chauffeur. So I'm not really sure what that gas budget's going to look like moving forward. Obviously, it's my goal to get my car up there, but it's kind of a hard, I haven't made up my mind yet with that. So I was over in my miscellaneous just by $8. So my household, I was over by $471. And that just has to do with my new rent charges. So this is one budget category that's definitely going to have to change once I kind of get a better idea and kind of have a full month of what my new bills are. Debt, I was still able to put more than what my minimum payments was towards debt, which I was really happy about. Granted, it was $363, more than what I budgeted for. So I was able to put $545 towards debt. It's not as much as I usually do, but with the move and everything else kind of being out of whack, I'm really happy with that. My insurance is also something that's going to be changing just because I had to switch it from Washington to Kansas, and I kind of paid like some of my Washington premium, but I got it back. It's kind of weird. So this is another budget category that's going to be changing. My dog, we didn't spend anything on just because he was all stocked up. Utilities, I was $144 under budget, but that's just because I didn't pay for any utility bill in the month of October. So I'll see in November what that looks like. And then savings, I was still able to put $250 away towards savings. So I was really happy about that. Most of it being the savings challenge, I was still able to participate in that. So that's what that's from. And then move, I made its own category just to separate it out of everything, and that was $848. And this counts for our move-in fees, part of our move-in fees. I kind of split it up with my boyfriend in a way. But that's what that is from. And then my brother's birthday, I spent $113. So after all of that, I was off by $0. Yeah. Okay, so my total monthly inflow and my total monthly income are going to be the same just because Miko used her savings, so that's why these two numbers were different. I didn't use any savings, so that's why mine are the same. I was able to put about 13% of my total monthly inflow towards debt, and all of that was towards my student loan. And then savings, I was only able to save 6% of my total monthly inflow. 100 of that was stocking up my emergency fund again, and then 150 of that was for my savings challenge. And I wasn't able to put anything towards, I decided to kind of hold off on sinking funds this month just because everything was so new and I wasn't sure what was going to come up, so I just wanted to leave that money in my account, and I'm glad I did that. So in November, I'll start picking that back up again. Okay, so this is comparing September to October. I did have a monthly inflow change decrease of $367. I put dots here. I was reading comments and my highlighters are really dark and it's hard to see on video. So I put dots next to it now. So hopefully it's easier to see for you guys. Everything in green means I spent less in October than I did in September. Everything in red means I spent more. So everything for the most part, I surprisingly spent less in October. Besides the move, obviously, I spent more. Miscellaneous, I did spend more. And then insurance, and house. I never marked that one. But household, I did spend more. And then insurance, I spent more. Everything else was pretty good. Yeah, less than September, and that's always a win for me.
So that's where our dollars went in October. Ryan, tell us about what is going on in your life. So
Gosh.
So moved to Kansas.
Yes.
You were staying with, I know, your boyfriend's parents for a little while, which is why you probably saw no utilities in her budget. Right. Recap. Did you find a place to live?
We did, and we love it. I'll show you pictures. But we love it. We kind of realized, like, I'm going to say this in, like, the least sad way, but living here, like, we love Spokane, you know, and it'll always kind of be, like, where my roots are because I lived here the longest. But we realized that, like, I don't know if it was just where, like, our apartment or what, but we were just kind of, like, unhappy. And I didn't realize it until we moved, because now I'm like, okay, yeah, let's cook dinner at home every night, and, like, let's do this at home, and let's do this at home, where when I lived here, I just had no motivation to do any of that.
So, new space will do that to you. Yeah,
and it's just like my baby, and it's like the cleanest. Like I keep, like I'm so like anal about.
Does it remind you when I moved into the house?
Yes, it's so I get it now, Miko. I get it. It's the weirdest thing, but we're so happy there.
So are you guys renting then?
Yeah, we are in an apartment. They're brand new. They opened kind of like in the middle of COVID last year, so they're pretty new. We're the first people in our unit, which is really nice.
That's so nice.
Yeah, we got a 2-bed, 2-bath, which is bigger. It's way bigger than our place here. We're about
then rent's gonna change, utilities going to change, and then we were just talking off camera before we started this. Food budget's gonna change because even though your diet does not change, your household size does not change. Yep. Your location does play a role. In your food budget.
We noticed that.
For example, here in Spokane, Washington, a gallon of milk is about $2.99.
Okay, it's like over $3
in Hawaii.
It's
I've heard $5 to $8. I've heard that it could be over $5 for a gallon of milk. Yeah. So location is key. So anytime you see someone's food budget, you're like, I get a lot of questions like, how do you only spend $400 a month for food? Well, here, it's fairly reasonable.
It really is.
However, we're seeing a lot of what other places are seeing, right? We're seeing an increase in groceries. We're seeing an increase in gas. We're seeing an increase in housing. We're seeing an increase in all of it. But it is pretty reasonable for food here.
It totally is. And I realized that whenever I left.
Right. So it's gonna change. The food budget's going to change. I mean, it is. It's like starting people ask me all the time, Miko, what did you do financially when you got divorced?
Yeah.
I literally had to sit down with a blank piece of paper and start 100% from scratch.
Right.
Because
that's literally.
everything
so
changes.
true.
My food budget, my housing, because I was in an apartment, everything changes. The same thing is when you move.
Right.
It's like sitting down with a brand new blank piece of paper because your bill amounts are going to change, your bill due dates are going to change. So what you've been budgeting per paycheck and getting used to that scheduled type of payment,
Right.
it all changes.
Yeah, and another thing too I realized is like I've always really relied on trends. Like if I see myself for like more than 2 months, I'm like, okay, I need to increase that or I can decrease that. And I can't even go off of that right now. So it was very stressful.
Blank white piece of paper
literally,
budgeting.
It's starting like I've never budgeted before.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is your first step.
Yeah.
When you go through a big life event like a divorce, marriage is the same way.
Too,
If you are combining with your spouse, even if you're keeping it separate, everything changes.
Yeah.
So you got blank white piece of paper budget,
Right.
starting completely from scratch. It starts with writing down the expenses you know are going to happen, filling in those due dates as you know. You're kind of just going as you get more information. And same with your utilities down there. You'll start to see that what is normal.
Exactly. And I'm kind of nervous because it was my boyfriend and I, we've never had central AC. Like we did growing up, obviously, but not since we've been together. So we always had like the big wall ones or the ones that you roll around. Well, we have AC at this new place, and when we first got there, it was like 90 degrees, and Midwest humidity, like not my thing. So we like cranked the AC.
Like, 0 degrees.
Literally. So Cody and I were like, okay, we got to stop this, or we're gonna pay like $600 in November. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we all will get more familiar as you start to know more about your finances, and this is it. More transition months.
Right.
It's going to be about 6 months of transitioning before you get a really good feel for what is normal and what's expected when it comes to as far as your expenses go.
For sure.
And some of your variable spending, because we still don't even know what's going to happen with the car, with
Exactly.
gas.
Exactly.
All of that. Gas prices are different in Kansas than they are in Spokane.
My personal might go down because I use my personal kind of as like an eating out fun thing too. And
because you're cooking at home.
Right. And we just cook at home now. So that might, everything.
It's true. Being in a new kitchen makes you want to cook at home.
Yeah. And like we don't have an island like Miko, you know, like a big one, but we have like a way bigger kitchen than we did. So I'm like amped.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about it.
Yeah.
So that is our October budget recap. We are hoping to have Ryen fly in again in November to do a November budget recap. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe. It says REC, right? Record. Yeah.
I was like, what does that mean?
Okay. Oh, look, Toby on camera.